is Lucas. This is a bit of lit, and I'm here to talk about a book I've read twice. The first time I blitzed through it for a reading race, and I had to take a quiz, and I passed it barely. And I've tried to read it before that. I got halfway, and then the characters got split up, and I lost interest. But I read it again slowly to try to appreciate it for all its merits. And this book is, I mean, it's just like Lord of the Rings in many ways. There are some differences, of course, but it uses a lot of the tropes from Lord of the Rings, a lot. And in my opinion, it sort of misfires in a number of ways and doesn't learn the lessons, the right lessons from Tolkien if it is going to copy. Now, the only reason I say that is because I think the prologue sort of delivers on, gives me great expectations for what's going to happen, and I was really looking forward to the story, even though it is set far, far ahead of the story proper that we get with Rand and Moraine and Perrin and all those other characters. And Baltamon, who is by far the best character, I have to say. I love him. He is great. I enjoy his company. He was the best part of the book. Not really a huge fan of the rest. Now, with that in mind, I will be giving the second book a chance. Because from what I understand from Wheel of Time aficionados, the second book is totally different, nothing like Lord of the Rings. But maybe a slight continuation in some ways, but it becomes its own thing and starts to breathe life into the series. So these are all the good things I can say. I will be reading the second one, giving it a fair shot. Hopefully it will deliver on what the prologue had me thinking was going to happen. The rest of it, it's basically The Road to Rivendell, book 1 of 6 in Lord of the Rings, in my opinion. I mean, except right at the very end when they decide, no, we need to go to the Eye of the World because it's protected by a green man. I forget the name, and it protects one of these 7 seals of the Dark One, who is the guy that was, with at the beginning in the prologue, and yeah, the ending is fine, but it comes so late after the end to the road to Rivendell, because they're going to Tar Valon, running away from Trollocs, and Myrddraal, because the Dark One wants to get Rand, because Rand is, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old book, the Dragon Reborn. And, I mean, I love the prologue, right? Where I guess the dragon mount is created by this guy who is wondering what just happened, and then he finds out from the Dark One that he killed everybody, he killed his family, and then, he makes him sane and tells him this, and he goes crazy and kills himself in spectacular fashion, and then that's Dragon Mount, and then boom, let's talk about Rand and his shepherding and the place he's from, where he's going, and oh no, there's Trollocs. I like the beginning. I think the beginning is totally fine. Where it loses its yarn for me, its threads, is when they get separated. I feel like it really slows everything down, and I understand because it is taking the tropes of Lord of the Rings, where the characters get separated, like in Lord of the Rings, where the Fellowship is disbanded. It's using that trope, and it just doesn't work, in my opinion. There's so many times, don't get me wrong, things do happen, but they feel like, because this book is part of a huge Uber series, it's like some of these things are just introductions for things that we will really see pay off later in the series, and they only kind of pay off or are just kind of introduced, which is my problem with this book. Also, Perrin, with his wolf-speaking abilities that he develops without trying, that I guess he's also born with. I'm not really a fan. The women, and then he goes crazy and kills people. The women are sort of an afterthought. Not so much in the same way as Lord of the Rings, where they just don't exist, besides Eowyn and I guess Arwen. But even then, in the books, they really don't exist that much. But it's like they're really powerful. Okay, you see women with a lot of power. You see a queen. You see Moraine, and you know of the Aes Sedai, who are in Tar Valon, their little group of crazy powerful people, women that know lots of things and speak in mysterious ways and are genuinely not that helpful, in my opinion. No offense to fans of Moraine. She just drives me insane because of the way she's written. I would love this character if she was written better, but Robert Jordan can't write women, it seems. Maybe he will prove me wrong in the future, but I have heard otherwise. I digress. Even the other characters, they feel like, the other women, they feel like, they don't even feel like people, they just feel like caricatures of women in different ways. Moraine is like powerful and untrustworthy. The queen, sort of surrounded by powerful people, women that can't be trusted and are manipulative, especially the Aes Sedai. Anyway, the men, they're fine. I don't really care about them. Actually, I kind of find them boring. Rand, I cannot stand. I hate this guy. he exists. And I actually don't really hate him. I feel like he's supposed to be Frodo. Except, well, I'll talk about some of the sort of thematic differences in Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time, it seems. But, you know, the road to Rivendell takes 200 pages at most, 150, something like that. And then book one ends. And then we have, I think it's 150 or something. And in that time, Frodo, he's very scared and worried, and he's afraid of this, but he wants to get to Rivendell to do right by Gandalf and, protect the Shire and whatever, maybe see Bilbo again and these kind of things. And then they have the Council of Elrond, and he decides himself, I will be the one to take the ring, but I do not know the way. And he changes in that moment, and he's incredibly brave, and it's a really powerful moment. I love the Council of Elrond. I love Frodo. He's one of my favorite characters. I like him more than Sam, even though Sam is my boy. Anyway, I like Frodo. I think he's the best character, probably. But I always change my mind. But he's one of the best, in my opinion. And definitely better than Sam. Fight me on it. Anyway. But he constantly changes. He becomes corrupted by the ring. And even when everything changes, everything ends, he still changes because he can't be there anymore. He has to go. Now, this is a full story, right? Rand, through 14 novels, mind you, he might show some more development than he does. I'm not saying he doesn't. But Frodo goes from being an unassuming trust fund baby of Bilbo Baggins, or trust fund nephew, to an incredibly brave, I guess, young man, because he's 50, which is very young for hobbits, to a broken man in many ways, which is why he goes to the Grey Havens, in about as long as this book is. But even in 150 pages, he's about the same as Rand is in most of this book, in my opinion. Because Rand is still saying the same old tired, I'm just a shepherd's son. What's his father's name? Tam Althor, something like that. I'm just Tam Althor's son, which he tells to Queen Morghast. And that's like halfway in the book. And this is 800, 900, 1,000 pages. Come on. I read it on my Kindle, and I didn't look at the page count. But why? And so, just because the whole series, I know it's supposed to be an uber long epic fantasy, the series takes forever, right? So we're going to explore this world in great depth. And yeah, there are character moments that I like with Rand, and I don't really like Moraine, personally. I think she could be a great character, but Robert Jordan can't write women, it seems. She could be really interesting, and then she's just made to be a stereotype of a powerful, manipulative kind of woman that you can't really trust. And so are the other women. There is, I guess, a difference at the end. He sort of takes control of this eye to wreak havoc on Baltzamon, which makes me so sad. I wanted Baltzamon to kill everybody. Personally, I was quite happy to look forward to that. Even though I've already read it, I was hoping things would change now that I was reading it more carefully. I really hate Rand. He's just so boring. Anyway. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the second one. What I do like about the Wheel of Time and how it deals with power in Lord of the Rings, of course, the one ring to rule them all is to be disposed of. It's to be renounced and be done away with, because that much power, that kind of power, is too much. And here, Rand is just playing with it. Die, and he uses it, and it's not corrupted. And in this way, it would be more interesting, I think, if Rand was not sort of a thing of prophecy in a way. It seems like he is, given the way the Moraine speaks. It's like he was born to be great, because the Dark One is coming after him. It only sends one group of Trollocs, but could have sent more. But the Dark One is stupid, of course, and arrogant. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. Baltzamon was the best part. I'll be reading the second one. Rand sucks, and Lord of the Rings is better. Which I need to get to reading that. I was supposed to read it last month. I will be reading the second one, like I said. I don't know when I will do that, because I'm going to definitely read I've been trying to get some physical copies of Lord of the Rings that I really want, but haven't been able to. I guess I'll just read it on my Kindle next month. No big deal. Yeah, so mixed experience. Starts off fantastic with the prologue. Pretty good until they get separated, and then I just kind of lose interest. And then at the end, it's really cool again. But I'm bored. I've been so bored. And The Road to Rivendell by Robert Jordan, book 1, as they call it, The Eye of the World. I don't know what that has to do with this. It's The Road to Rivendell. Book 1 of The Wheel of Time. I've gone on too long. Fight me on it. Let me know what you think. Am I being too harsh? Probably. But like I said, I was being facetious. Not to defend myself. And, you can't attack me. I don't mind. Let me know I'm wrong.